Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Squadzilla, and this one is quite different and special, but due to circumstances, something dropped yesterday. Well, let's say rel- relative. Oh my god,
As of
uh,
as
something
of
dropped
recording,
yesterday.
something
As of
happened yesterday.
recording, yes, something happened yesterday, and that is the trailer for Kong versus Godzilla. And we thought, what better time to talk about this stuff, like, and talk about how the internet sucks and doesn't know what it's talking about. So yeah, the god of Godzillas, he calls upon us to defend his honor against these monkey heathens who think they know something.
Yeah, for real. Like the fact that High Top Films is like a pretty popular YouTuber. He ran a poll and it was like 50-50 Godzilla versus Kong. I'm like, this is like a bigger upset. This like is upsetting me more than how close the presidential election was. How can you people be so
I
Right,
know.
blind?
What the hell? First
right.
off, High Top Films. He has questionable things there for, but he's good. But yeah, like this whole thing so far, like I thought it was pretty much cut and dry. Like, okay, it's literally a giant radioactive buff ass lizard versus a giant, like, ape, monkey, whatever you want to call it. But it's just like, okay, Donkey Kong, you're gonna get whooped in this fight. You know this shit. Like, I don't see what the hell people see with this. I really don't. It's so weird. So like I'm wondering, but though I was talking to Saber about this before the podcast came up, about like how a bunch of people are like, oh well, King Kong's the American kaiju, so I just got to vote for the homegrown kid and stuff like that. I'm just like, oh, for fuck's sake,
What the
it's a
hell are you talking
giant.
about?
Yes, why? Like I saw like some of my favorite podcasts, like Double Toasted, they were talking about this earlier, where they were just like, "Yeah, we're vote for Kong, like Godzilla's bull shit like that." And then, I can't. Though I will say this, like because of this whole thing, I never noticed how small in comparison this new Godzilla's head is to like the other Godzilla. Like just when King Kong like knocked that shit, I was like, oh my god, his head is kind of tiny for his body. Like he's like a
Right.
body. Uh
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, this is like one of the first fights, even this tiny clip we've seen of like this Godzilla in like the bright daylight, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, that's what it looks like. It's been like, 7 years. We're finally getting a good look at this motherfucker.
Right.
Um, so all right, can we just get one thing out of the way?
Huh.
Ignoring all the fucking dumb people online. 50% of people have never seen a Godzilla movie, so they don't know what we're talking about. This trailer was some Kong propaganda, all
Yeah,
right?
it really was.
Some straight fucking propaganda. All
And what
right, the fact that like God's look, we already for all the good that King of the Monsters was as like a movie, the fact that like Godzilla got his ass handed to him like twice in there and had to get like a fucking pick me up. All right, that was already bullshit enough. But like this fucking trailer is just like Kong is dunking on Godzilla constantly. I'm like, no, what the fuck is going on here? You didn't give my boy one shot the entire trailer.
right?
What
They
the
could have
fuck?
had one. Oh
Oh,
god,
he
it's
blew up a boat. He blew up a boat. Oh my god, he like fucking blows up boats by accident. Fuck you.
is so stupid. Like again, Tom, like the whole thing, like you could have said, like, because I'm starting to wonder, did like Japan have a trailer where like Godzilla's just dunking on Kong the entire time or something like that? Like, can we see that trailer? But like, it's so valid because this Kong, like the second it wakes up, it's just like, because the teasers they were showing of like Kong yelling at the water and Godzilla come out, I was like, oh fuck, this is gonna be hype. And then like Godzilla, like in every like promo before this, we always thought like, oh shit, he ate that punch. But in this fucking trailer, we see he like is just getting like rocked left and forth. It's just like boom, hit you with that right. Boom, hit you with this fucking axe Kamehameha wave bullshit. Boom, hit you with this fucking like I just knocked your ass in the ocean doing all this shit. And it's just like, come on, at least give Godzilla a fucking tail whip. Like give him a fucking tail whip or like have him like just eat the punch and be like, really? That's all you got, monkey, and then just fucking like lay him out or something like that. Like that should be valid. But like it really was some Kong propaganda because like I think prior to the movie they already knew because like again like prior to this like if you went on like Twitter and all that stuff like prior to this trailer like most people were just like how the fuck is a fucking monkey going to fight Godzilla or something like that even though
Jax,
monkeys
it's the same people. It's the same
Mhm.
people who probably think that a gorilla can beat a grizzly bear. They just, oh,
Yeah.
it's intelligent. It will jump around and quote math,
Yeah, no,
equations
you
and
know what's funny is like I'm not to get on a whole tangent, but like there was this whole thing about like, okay, well, gorillas get like fucked up by leopards and shit, and bears will actively fight like full grown like tigers, and like they'll go either way, but like leopards can go like either way. This so it was like a tiger's way bigger than a leopard, so just power scaling for animals if you want to go do that shit. But like it's silly. It's absolutely ridiculous that this happens all the time with these people. It's just like how the fuck is this gonna happen? So I guess they were just like, you know what? He is the underdog. We got to show him like dunking a bit. So
So like
that's exactly it.
it's gotta be like fucking make King Kong like Batman, give him prep time, give him weapons. What the fuck is this bullshit?
He's got a
right.
weapon. By the way, spoilers. 'Cause we're talking about the trailer. Like there's
Spoilers
like
for the
they,
trailer.
they got they got I'm sorry, spoiler. Yeah, spoilers. Heads up for a trailer. But
Mm.
I mean, for crying out loud, they're like, what can we do to level the playing field for Kong? Okay, well now he's 1,000 feet taller. He's smart, and fuck it, give him an axe. It's like, what?
Yeah.
That
What are you talking
specifically
about?
absorbs Godzilla's flames and
Yeah,
doesn't just
yeah,
burn
yeah.
his. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Mm.
I mean,
Do
not
it,
even
do
let's
it.
even putting aside the fact. Let's say this is made of some like adamantium kind of fucking shit that can
Yeah.
absorb the fucking heat.
Vibranium
This,
ass fucking thing.
yeah, this beam has been shown to have excessive concussive force, and he's just like, I'm in midair. I have no way of bracing myself against the concussive force of this beam, but I'm just gonna roll with it because it looks cool in the trailer. I'm like, oh fuck you, fuck
Like
you.
it's literally pulling a fucking Thor and Stormbreaker with
Right,
this
right.
Max. It's like, where did you build this? Is there going to be like a scene where he goes to like some like freaking like tribesmen and they're like, haha, we have to like build.
The only way this scene will be better is if in the actual movie it lands, it hits Godzilla on like the side of the shoulder, and he's just like, should have aimed for the head, and snaps,
Yeah,
and Kong blows up.
exactly. Yeah. Oh god. Well, and then there's also that whole thing about like how they're saying again, spoilers for the trailer. We're just having a conversation, shit like that, with like how well people were like, oh well, that isn't even my boy Godzilla, because Godzilla wouldn't even be like doing this sort of shit right here. So like like it's been like they're having those theories out there that like, okay, so the one that attacks the boat that gets up and gets rocked, that's more than likely Mecha, like the Mecha, like because again the action figures ruined it, the trailer ruined it. They show you like the blueprints of him, you see like at the beginning of the trailer like Mecha, like Godzilla, of course. And so I'm wondering, like, okay, is that Mecha going after him? And Kong is like, what the fuck? And then just lays it out. And then he's like, okay, I'm gonna go swim away. And then like later on in the movie, like regular Godzilla shows like, hey, what's your beef with me, man? Like, dude, I'm just trying to vibe. What the fuck's wrong? Okay, oh, is this how you want to do the shit? This is how you want to fucking do it? And just like fucking like start the fight up. But I'm curious if that happens. I'm really curious. Like, it's just ugh.
2 minds of that, because on the one hand, like it'll make me feel better if this is Mechagodzilla getting his ass handed to him by a monkey, but on the
Right.
other hand, that means like the majority of the fighting will be Kong versus Mechagodzilla, and it's not the same as my
No, no, no,
boy
no, no,
putting this monkey in his place
no.
like God intended.
It's going to be this. All right, this is what's going to happen. All right, so we'll have Kong fighting quote unquote Godzilla, and it'll be like, wow, Godzilla's not really doing that great. And then it will be revealed when Kong's not around that, oh, it's Mechagodzilla. And then Godzilla will show up and be a lot bigger and stronger and be looking, who's this imposter. And then Kong is going to see Godzilla and be like, yep, that's the guy again, and like run up and punch him. And then Godzilla's going to turn his head and be like, fucking
Yeah.
what? Like, excuse me? Like, who are you, monkey boy? And then Kong's going to be like, uh-oh. Like, this guy's a bit different.
I just want Godzilla to take on Mechagodzilla and Kong at the same time and smack them both down. Let's Terror of Mechagodzilla this shit up. Say if you
Yeah.
haven't seen that movie yet, but like in Terror of Mechagodzilla, it's Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla and Titanosaurus at the same time, and it's fucking
Yeah.
sick.
It's so fucking it's so fucking based. It's so fucking good. But like, dude, I honestly, because I was watching like other reviews and stuff like that, and so like their whole headcanons of just how it's going to go down. Like, well, for example, like at the end of King of Monsters, Godzilla became the king of all monsters. So it would make sense for in this movie where Kong defeats Godzilla and gets the title of king. And that's why they've never called him King Kong in these movies before. And it's just like, no, you better not. I swear, you better not fucking even try to do that shit. I will fucking attack the theory.
Yeah, like seriously, like I'll go full fucking Joker if that shit
Yeah.
happens. The fucking the audacity of this fucking broken ass bullshit country trying to take away the win from my boy. Look, this is opening up old wounds, okay?
Yeah.
This is
I was
a Biden America. I hate
it really is. I was telling Jax earlier, saying how it feels like opening up the wounds again because this we've already lived through one injustice of
Yes.
the original King Kong versus Godzilla, where Kong questionably got the win under questionable circumstances, and everybody's throwing that back in our face. And okay, I'm not usually much of a fanboy, but all of a sudden realizing that 50% of the country is this stupid, I'm like, oh no, oh god, it's all coming back. Now I understand how fucking people who are into politics feel. This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. 50% of the country thinks a monkey could beat Godzilla. Holy shit!
It's so stupid.
It's bringing my blood to a boil. Getting really mad.
Yeah. Well, what I'm wondering. Oh, go ahead, Saber.
Could you imagine Kong even having a chance against King Ghidorah in the last film?
Right.
Ghidorah would have laid out Kong. He would have been like, monkey's scared. And as the Ghidorahs pin him down, zap him, and kick his ass, and his little soft monkey skin versus Godzilla, who's a tank who can dish it right back. And it's like, yeah, no, I'm sorry. They needed to, okay, enough of the fanfare. But for what it's worth, on a writing level, they had to,
right,
and they continue to level the playing field to give it some sense
they
of
have
tension.
to, because it would be like a Godzilla versus Bambi situation if there were no power scaling involved. So
Yeah, this happens all the time. We see this happen all the time, though. Where they're like, okay, how the fuck could this work? For example, the whole Batman v Superman shit again. We know for a fact that, oh, Batman with prep time can do this, but the whole realistic thing is if Superman really wanted to, it'd be like that scene in X-Men Days of Future Past with Quicksilver just moving so fast, Batman couldn't even keep up, and then he just yeah, this is over. Karate chop the neck, throw him into space. There's so many different ways Superman would just blitz it, but they're like, we have to make it fucking valid, all right? So
it's got to be an entertaining movie. At the end of the day, they're selling a product to normies who don't understand that Godzilla is 10 billion times more powerful than a monkey.
Which I'm sure HBO and Warner and Legendary love this kind of controversy.
Oh, of course, of course.
They're like, yes, who's going to win, kind of thing.
Yeah, and they even said that there's gonna be an actual winner in the thing. This probably might be one of those bullshit things where they say there's a winner, but then
the whole one will fall tagline.
Yeah, the one will fall tagline. How everyone was saying
the one we were talking about was Mechagodzilla, plausible deniability.
Oh yeah. Well, you remember Batman technically beat Superman in the movie, so he was the one. Shut the fuck up. He wasn't. It's stupid. It's all right, because honestly, I'm wondering if they're just gonna have one of those moments where they're beating the shit out of each other. Hopefully in the movie they're both hitting blows and they're both just
Kong just beating the shit out of Godzilla, taking his axe, getting some blows in. He gets on top of Godzilla, starts hitting him with the axe, and Godzilla's like, Mothra. He's like, why did you say her name?
Mothra! Why did you say that name? And then you see the subtitles, the one movie we haven't got to yet, but we'll talk.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, exactly. It'd be hilarious. I would love that. But honestly, I think what's gonna happen is they're gonna show up and then they're gonna do what they did in the 90s with the freaking Mechagodzilla being Mechagodzilla thing, where they took pieces. I think they're probably gonna do something like that, and then they're going to have them team up and do the respect nod with each other. And then
Tywin will take Ghidorah's head and somehow make Mechagodzilla out of it, and his little group is the one who built Mechagodzilla.
Exactly. And then at the end, you'll see fucking Kong suplex fucking Mechagodzilla, and then right into Godzilla's tail whip, and then they just look at each other and then they fucking bro fist and then just blah, and then just back. Oh man, I would lose my shit if they did that. I honestly would. I would.
I don't want to repeat ground we've already covered in this discussion, but okay, they gave Kong an axe. Did we watch the end of King of the Monsters where Godzilla destroyed an entire city by thinking? There's a fucking nuclear pulse destroyed half of Boston. Okay. How is a monkey gonna beat that?
Well, apparently they're not using that in this movie.
Oh, how convenient.
Yeah, how convenient. Well, wasn't the reason he got that was because first off, he fucking ate a nuke to the face, and then Mothra gave him his energy, like Mothra gave him her energy, and so like she was able to give her power to him, and that's why it wasn't like it was okay. It's like, put it in this way, it's basically like Ultra Instinct instead of Super Saiyan. So it's not like he could turn it
It's
on
hard to
and
say, right? Because like, God, I don't want to spoil other movies while Saber's here, but like in the Heisei series, like Godzilla gets a power up from Rodan that is
yeah,
permanent. So
exactly.
we don't know, but it's fine. You know what? Bullshit it all you want. If whatever the fuck happens, Kong throws some feces at Godzilla and blinds him and gets the win in cheaply. We all know us Godzilla fans know that Godzilla has the moral win no matter what. He would have won in any non-bullshit Hollywood interference. There's no contest. We have the moral victory. We have the high ground. Literally, because Godzilla's taller, there's no fucking debating this point. And so if you're someone who's like, I just like monkeys, so I want Kong to win, you know what? More power to you. Root for the underdog. But if anybody wants to make a serious, actual, like claim that King Kong could win, like legitimately, you're an idiot. You're a fucking idiot.
Right.
We need Wolfar.
Moron.
We need
Yeah. I'm calling you out, listener. The one King Kong fan listening to Squadzilla, you fucking idiot.
Oh wow.
Well, the people get on the bandwagon just to be contrarians, where it's like, oh yeah, Kong.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I
they
guess.
do.
And if you're being a
They
contrarian, but like, my problem really is with people who like legitimately might think that Kong could win. And like I literally feel like I'm cringing at myself externally right now because why do I care so much about this? I'm
Right.
totally just helping the marketing of this movie and helping
For
late
free.
stage capitalism. But like there's always that one thing. There's that one thing that's deeply rooted into your psyche that you have no logical, rational control over. And this has happened to me once before. I've seen Godzilla, King of the Monsters, getting tooled on by a monkey who got some bullshit electrical powers that made no sense and was totally pulled out of nowhere. And now we're giving him an axe so we can repeat this all over again. And I'm just like, I've already lived through this once. That wounded, scabbed over, and fucking Legendary Films is like ripping it off slowly. It's like, yeah, buddy, get to fucking be traumatized all over again.
Right. Crazy.
Okay. Predictions for the
Wolflar.
movie.
We need
What do we think's gonna happen in the movie? Like,
okay. Honestly, what I think is gonna happen in the fucking movie is this. All right, so that fucking scene on the boat's gonna happen where he comes up and he's like, "What the fuck?" and they fight for a bit, and then he blasts him, and it's like, "Oh shit, that was crazy." And then like we keep seeing like Godzilla destroy all this shit, and it's just Mechagodzilla. It's Mechagodzilla, and they're like, "Oh fuck, what the hell's going on?" And so what happens is Mechagodzilla and King Kong like had their fight, and then later on, like, of course, they have to run into real Godzilla, and real Godzilla's like, what the fuck? What the hell's going on here? And so Kong's gonna be confused, like Saber said, and like everyone said, it's just like going to charge him. They're gonna body each other, they're gonna fight, they're gonna do all this stuff, and then they're gonna have one of those moments where like they're so tired where they like do that shit where you don't actually have a real victor, where they're just so insanely tired, and it's just like, oh god, we have to, I'm going to defeat you, I'm going to defeat you. Then out of nowhere comes Mechagodzilla, and then Kong's like, what? I thought you. And then like Mechagodzilla just fucking dunks on both of them for a bit, and then they finally realize, oh shit, we got to team up, and then they just go ham, and Goku and Vegeta did that shit. That's how I see it.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's something that's probably gonna happen just based on like what I was looking, like the little bit of footage they show in the trailers. I think Kong might actually lose, quote unquote, lose that first fight on the boat. And I think at some point Kong's gonna go back to Skull Island, right? Because you see him fighting some other guys on Skull Island. He's like putting his hand up on that like handprint that's on like the mountainside, and the narration's talking about how like this battle's been won or fought a bunch of times before, and these are like the two like reigning titans and all this shit. And so I think Kong's gonna go back after this defeat, gonna go back to Skull Island and like forge that axe. That's gonna be like an axe or some sort of weapon that was like either on the island, or like he makes it by like harvesting those fucking things he's fighting, and like makes this axe that's like made like it's like a weapon designed to fight Godzillas or something, like some fucking bullshit that happened back in the day on Skull
I'm
Island.
sorry. It's so weird though. Don't you find it odd that like in Godzilla 2014, there's that species that fought Godzilla species, and then there was a species that fought Kong species. It's like they both had their own little infestation of other monsters that wiped out their families. But yeah, no, this movie is like, yes, there was a war between Godzillas and Kongs. And I'm like, what? Like, how? I thought you guys already had your hands filled with like the
Skullwalkers.
skull crawlers and Mudos. But I don't know. I guess they're still
I mean,
workshopping that.
this is a franchise that has aliens from Planet X, so I can't really
True.
get too
True.
bent out of shape about this at this point, you know.
Fair.
Right.
But
Okay, good.
I don't know. I just think that's probably going to be like the trump card they're going to give Kong, and he's going to like make it, and like give him his like little Stormbreaker scene or whatever the fuck.
Dude, when Godzilla actually shows up, it's gonna be pretty great.
Yeah, it's
Like
gonna be hype.
if I was writing that scene and doing like the visuals for it, I'd be like, okay, you got Godzilla, quote unquote. Now you got Godzilla, and I want the ground shaking. I want people getting shut up and quiet and being like, "What's that?" And it's like the real king.
I hope
it's like, oh my god,
if they go this way with like everything up to that point being Mechagodzilla,
Yeah,
shows
dude.
Yeah.
up.
Oh my
fuck.
god.
Yeah, dude.
Probably not.
Oh man. They need to get
I-
him to do it.
I don't know. Versus Superman's
What?
Tom
Dude.
Borg, aka Junkie XL, confirms.
I-
So
I'm
aw.
not trying to be cinematic, like, you know, in a world where two titans, right? No, it was like very goofy and just like having a bit more fun, which I was kind of happy about. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is some dumb shit. Like, let's be honest.
It's like a wrestling
I
match,
get
like a WWE
Yeah.
thing.
which I like, which I think they should lean into it, which is why I'm like, you know what? If they decide that like Mechagodzilla is just like from Aliens, like straight out of the Showa movies, like fucking do it, man. Like lean into that shit. Go ham. I don't even care. Like this doesn't have to make sense. Just like have some really good punching and I'm there for it.
So this guy, Junkie XL, that's his name. That's his title.
Incredible.
He's worked on Tomb Raider, Mortal Engines, Alita Battle Angel, but the one that really made me go, okay, I'm here for it. Mad Max Fury Road. So,
Oh.
and I
go.
worship that soundtrack. That soundtrack is
Okay.
amazing.
Yeah, that
Yes.
shit is hype. Yeah.
So as
Okay.
long as you have, though, I gotta give props. He's got some pretty big shoes to fill because Bear McCreary did his homework and like really knew what made like Godzilla sound special with its different themes for its monsters.
Yeah.
So
I
do
can't
your
see
homework.
them not using the theme they already have, right? Because even if Bears McCreary's not doing the score here, they still have the rights to use that. So I would assume they could pull that back out if they needed it, which they do need it because it's a fucking Godzilla movie. Yeah, so are we kind of like, are you guys like pretty much convinced that Mechagodzilla is like going to play the imposter role?
Yes,
I'm not-
yes.
I'm not
Of course.
100% convinced, but that seems like a pretty plausible option because I'm trying to think of how else Mechagodzilla would even fit in. It would be weird to have him just come in at the end, you know? It's
You
a
look
strange.
at the figures, right? Like you like again, like I'm not trying to go off like, oh, the plot's gonna, but so many times action figures have like spoiled movies where it's just like, oh, I have no
Yes,
idea. Like
yes.
remember fucking in the 90s, like no one knew what fucking Zilla was gonna look like in the 98 Godzilla, but then they were like, oh, this is the action figure, and like people were like, that's it?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
And it's just like,
yeah. Yeah, I remember.
crazy.
Well, I'm looking
But the
up the
cartoon was
people who
good.
are doing the screenplays being done by a guy who worked at Marvel, who worked on Thor Ragnarok, and which was a good movie. And then another person who did the screenplay did the screenplay for Godzilla 2014, Kong Skull Island, and then also helped with Godzilla King of Monsters. So at least there's some consistency. I was concerned about that for a moment to be like, what are they? Who's running the show here?
Right.
So fingers crossed. I just want something epic fighting, and it's not too stupid. I know it's gonna be dumb, but please, like, don't be like so dumb where it makes me like pause the movie and go, "What the hell was that?"
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna every time Kong gets a good hit on Godzilla, I have to pause and be like, "What the fuck was that? That was bullshit."
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, exactly.
bad
No,
writing.
again, like all I really wanted, like you know what, you could have saved that trailer so much to me. Even though the trailer was hype as fuck, I really just wanted like Kong to like punch Godzilla and Godzilla just to eat that shit and be like,
Yeah,
"What's that
yeah.
for?"
I wanted that Dragon Ball moment where he just kind of
Yeah.
like shrugs it off and is like, "Bitch, you for real?" You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, no,
God.
he does the fucking like Saitama look like when fucking Deep Sea King like hit him in the back of the head, just like, excuse me? What
Yeah,
was
yeah,
that?
yeah.
What's your
Okay.
problem? Yeah, that
We've
was
we've been kind of like harsh on the trailer, but like let's give credit where credit is due. The fight
Mhm.
looks cool. Like
It does.
aside from the fact that our boy's like getting his ass handed to him, like just like the choreography, like that's what's so good about these MonsterVerse movies. It makes me sad that this is probably going to be the last one. Is that this is like the budget that we've never seen kaiju films have before. You know, like there's of course there's charm to the rubber suits and everything, but like being an American, spoiled seeing like multi-million-dollar production value, there's always that part of my brain. It's like, well, what would Godzilla look like with an American movie budget? And that's what made these really interesting, especially King of the Monsters, was that like,
Yeah.
oh, like Ghidorah's emoting, and each head has its own person. Like these are things you can't do with puppets and stuff.
Yeah.
So to see
Yep.
these creatures realized in that way is so cool. And like, you know, I just watched King Kong versus Godzilla again because my buddy got it for me on VHS. He found it at the thrift store, and we watched it. And just like, there's just, you know, it's night and day, obviously, and like that has like the charm and the cheese to it. But like, this is like how like little kid me imagined these fights actually being, you know, and
Yeah,
to
when
see
you
it
played the
realized is so fucking cool.
Right.
And
Right.
that's why I want this to at least give Godzilla a fair shake, even if he ends up losing because America sucks, like whatever. Like
That's how he
at
becomes
least
King Kong.
give him something. Oh God, if it ends with him like pounding his chest or something on top of a building, and they're like,
Oh,
it's King
King
Kong,
Kong.
I will kill
Okay.
myself.
That'll be like one of those fucking. That'll be like the equivalent of like when in Dark Knight Rises, where like fucking at the end, it's like, why don't you go by your real name, Robin? I was like, fuck you, movie.
Yeah,
Fuck
yeah,
this
yeah,
bullshit. Fuck
yeah.
you.
Oh
No,
God.
we ain't doing this. We are not doing this. Like, oh God, I hated that shit. Yeah, I really. I really hope they don't. Like, hey,
I
Koba.
I I don't know.
Fun fact:
I
Koba's playing him.
Cobra Kai.
No, Koba. You know from Planet of the Apes.
Who?
Koba, the black ape from Planet of the Apes, the bad one. Remember the second one?
Oh, mocap.
Yeah, yeah,
Gotcha.
the
I was
mocap
confused.
guy. Yeah, like yeah. So
Okay.
it's funny
Okay.
because like Smeagol played him in the original, well, 2005 one. So like it's funny that like uh freaking Andy Serkis played Kong in the 2005 one, and then he played Caesar in the freaking Planet of the Apes movies, and so Koba is now playing Kong. So that's just funny. Uh that's good.
Remember when Kong wasn't strong enough to fight skull crawlers and he had to use a boat like propeller to like
Remember
win?
when they lit the fucking water on fire and Kong was scared of it? Godzilla breathes fire. Okay?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. Right. I'm obviously we're all hamming it up and having fun, but truly, like, please don't be stupid, film. Don't make it
Well,
where
don't be
it's like,
stupid in the wrong way.
yeah, be
Mhm.
dumb, but don't be stupid.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. I'm interested to see how they're gonna justify Kong being so much bigger. I'm assuming it's just the time going by.
Yeah, because pretty
Monkey.
much what they already said, like it's straight up in Skull Island. They were like, he's a
Right, that
baby.
he's a
Yeah,
baby at that
yeah.
point.
So
So
like,
that's
and that was in the 60s or like something. So that was
Right,
like
right.
a long ass time ago. So like he's had all this time to grow. So that I can forgive. Like where because like if they had just like tried to be like, oh yeah, it's the same Kong from Skull Island, but they never mentioned, oh yeah, he's a baby or some shit, like they had to zap him up, then I'd be like,
Right, right.
okay, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
No, that's not what we're
So
doing. But
I'm
yeah.
not the size difference. Like at least they set it up like they knew they were going with it.
Mm.
So that's fine. I don't mind that too much. But it's still a monkey. It's still
What
whatever.
about what about the other like Mothra and Rodan and the other Titans? Are
And
they gonna be showing
freaking
up?
well, yeah, Clifford's gonna show up at the end because it's a cross
Right.
promotion with the new movie. Yeah, so
Right.
That's the end credit stinger.
the end credit stinger, fucking Pacific Rim was like, we have this one.
Yeah,
Uh,
they fight the dog.
you know, it really does piss me off that Pacific Rim, since they are by the same studios, Legendary, they could have easily done like a crossover if they had just worked it right, but like they had to
Oh
fuck it up
yeah.
with that stupid ass sequel, which I didn't finish. So yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
poor John Boyega just can't catch a break. It's like a Star Wars and Pacific Rim 2, and it's like,
I
oh
mean,
man.
he was great when when he does like more serious stuff. That he's like really phenomenal in it. So yeah, like when he was in Attack the Block or that movie with the racist cops, whatever. Yeah, it was he's phenomenal.
America?
Yeah, America. Yeah. No, he's a phenomenal actor. I hope he catches a break
He's
too.
just a cool guy. He just seems like a cool guy in general.
Yeah, he loves anime too. So yeah.
Well, that's how you be a cool guy, you know.
Yeah, that's how you play
That's
it.
why I'm a cool guy.
Yeah, yes, of course. That's why all of us.
All right. Do we have anything else to say about this trailer? Because I feel like
I
the
think that's
stage
I
is
think
set.
They don't need another trailer. All right, they don't need another
No,
trailer.
they don't.
For this.
They
Yeah,
don't.
oh,
they really don't.
Unless
the
they make the
trailers on
Godzilla
this one.
trailer.
Yeah, right.
They really. I
I
mean,
agree.
because again, it's just that you showed a decent amount to tell us what the story is. Maybe showed a bit too much, but whatever. But like, yeah, like again, the only reason I bring this up, I guess, primarily, would watch out for like Saber because like you watched every trailer for King of Monsters. And I'm like, I'm only watching this first one. I am good, and then like everything to me was like a shock when that happened on the big screen. I was like, oh fuck, I had no idea that was coming. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'll watch another one if they release it. I feel like
Mhm.
we've done enough. I just kind of want to experience this. I got my big ass new TV. I
Fuck
literally
yeah.
bought it to watch this movie. So if it ends, if I have to see 65 4K HDR Kong beating Godzilla, I'm gonna throw my TV out. I'll be really mad. But
Right, right.
you know,
Oh god, it would be so good.
I have to immediately throw King
Right.
of the Monsters back on. Be like, no, no, he is the best. He is the best. I don't care.
Yeah, an X. All right. Anything else y'all want to say before closings out?
No, what do you have to say, Saber? Me and Tom have talked a lot.
I look forward to some fun action, and I really that's the thing that's winning me over is like, okay, I mean, there's some stupidity already going on with power scaling and size charts and whatnot, but I'm like, ultimately, give me a good fight. And also, it's a bunch of kaijus. It seems like it's gonna be more than just Kong and Ghidorah. I'm sorry, Kong and Godzilla and Mechagodzilla. There'll be other monsters, and I'm like, cool. I hope that there's a fair bit of fighting and it's fun action. That's what I'm
Mhm.
hoping for.
Yeah.
If I can get satisfied in that front, it's not too stupid, then I'll consider that an unqualified success.
Yeah, the same. I just want it to be fun and a good time and not humiliate my boy too much. That's all I'm asking for.
Yeah, because
Agreed.
once if Kong wins this, there's just gonna be a bunch of normies just being like, well, Kong beat his ass, and that fucking universal feat that you bring up, that's not canon. That's not canon
Yeah,
anymore.
that's
Like, shut
that's the
up.
biggest fucking problem, is that this is gonna set I'm gonna have to live through this all over again, being a little kid, being like, Godzilla's so fucking cool, and they're like, but didn't King Kong beat him? Like, no, you don't understand, that was bullshit. And now it's gonna be 0 for 2. I'm gonna be like, oh god damn it, he's just a monkey, you don't understand.
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna tell you this. King Kong beat him twice, so
Yeah,
you got-
that's gonna be the biggest pain in the ass. I'm already dealing with that on fucking Twitter. And I'm just, you know, it's just some guy was just like I'm Team Kong, like, or Kong's gonna beat Godzilla. I'm like, literally how? And then like the next day the trailer comes out and he just sends me the clip of him punching Godzilla in the face. Like, that's how. I'm like, no, damn it, Hollywood, you're doing it to me again.
Not again.
We can never have anything nice ever. Ever.
The punished Godzilla fan, seriously, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
This
It's
is
all
Getting
right.
cucked by Hollywood.
The only good thing that will come from this is that if King Kong absolutely obliterates Godzilla, Toho will get so mad they'll make the fucking best fucking movie in response ever.
Oh God, they'll probably do what they did to Zilla. They'll
Yeah,
probably like, do
exactly.
that shit so fast. It's just like, oh God.
So,
Oh man, they would. Oh, they would have Shin Godzilla. If Shin Godzilla showed up and
oh
fought Kong, that would be over.
yeah.
Over. Over. Yeah.
All right.
Shin would actually hit his final form. Okay.
Yeah, it's for real.
All right, folks. Well, thank you for joining us, and we'll be back to our, scheduled programming next time. So,
Yeah.
and we'll probably do another one of these. We'll expedite another episode, maybe for Kong versus Godzilla. Maybe we can do some kind of fun Let's Watch thing for it. We'll
We
figure it out.
definitely
But,
should. It'll be a good time.
Yep.
all right, have a good one, guys. Bye.
Bye,
Peace.